for another episode of Marion Matters with Mayor Morrell. We are so glad that you are joining us today, and want to say a great big welcome to those of you who are watching us on WSOT TV. We want to thank you for your support as we have broadcast throughout Marion and North Central Indiana for over 40 years, going on 41 years. And also, if you have found us on YouTube, WSOT at YouTube, then we want to say welcome to you and ask you to please take a moment to like and subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything, but it surely helps us out as we seek to grow our presence online. Well, we have a great program for you today. I've got with me the man of the hour, Mr. Ronald Morrell Jr., and I say a big happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas to you.
Happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas to you as well, and everyone watching.
You know, talk about Christmas season. Did we not just have an outstanding Christmas event downtown Marion?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
It was amazing. My hands just now unthawed. It was a great time. So many people had an amazing time. My kids had an amazing time. Kids were happy. People were picking up tons of candy,
the candy
I should say.
Was wonderful, wasn't it?
Yes. And one of the things I like to highlight is our team worked so hard on that.
Yeah.
They set up all the lights. They coordinate all the parade floats. And then afterwards, they take out and they sweep the streets to make sure we are still being Clean City Marion and get all the stuff off the street. And they work so hard, so fast in the cold. And so I want to commend them on that.
Yeah, you know, I would tell you it was so special to see the downtown events that started that late morning, early afternoon, and all of the different businesses downtown that got involved for the big event. And then the lighting of the courthouse Christmas tree and the firework display.
Yes, it was a great time.
Oh, and then all of the lights that lit up throughout the walkway of lights. What is it, 2.5 miles?
Yes.
Over 2.5 miles of Christmas displays. And there is a section of that, which I would refer to as the grand finale portion, that is there located in Marion's Motor Park. There is a cost for cars that want to go through that section. It's just, was it $5 per car?
Yep.
And that's now through New Year's Eve. So if you want to visit the Walkway of Lights, we are known as Christmas City, USA here in Marion, Indiana. So you know it's a good show. And I understand there's new displays added every year.
Yep. We do it. Marion does Christmas the best. That's what I tell everyone, especially from small town USA. We do an amazing job putting on Christmas. It's been like that for years, and we're going to continue to keep improving that every single year.
And it shows. I just had an opportunity to speak with somebody in the community who is not from here originally. They relocated from out of state, and that was one of the things that they told me. They said, you know, for a small town, you do a lot of big things. And I thought, you know what? Yeah, we do.
I like that. Yes, I like that. Yeah.
So I thought maybe I should share that with you. For a small town, we do a lot of big things.
I might take that saying. I might need to keep that. Yeah.
I think you can. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, speaking of small town and a lot of big things, let's talk about recreation and quality of life for a minute, because that's been something on your radar since the beginning of your administration, and we're at the tail end of your first year as mayor. Wow. And we're going to talk about that more here in just a little bit, but let's talk a little bit about some of the neat things that have just recently happened in terms of recreation and quality of life. And we'll start with the Marion Public Library in Indiana Wesleyan University launch of the Story Walk at Motor Park.
So Marion, as many know, has a legendary at this point river walk. 2.5 miles of a walk along our river, which started about 30 or so years ago. And in this administration, we've continued to invest more into repaving, redoing the lights, and putting a more emphasis on that, a stronger emphasis on that. And one of my initiatives coming into office was health and literacy. So as I was, racking my brain trying to figure out how those things can work together, I was approached by the new library director about this idea of putting these posts along the Riverwalk that are books. So essentially, each post has a couple pages of a book. You walk up to the first one to read that, and you have to walk and through a journey to read the next couple pages of the book. And the book will change, every couple months or so. So it unifies the city of Marion by one, getting everyone out and walking for it to be healthy. And also everyone is out reading the same book at the same time. So now you could be in Walmart or Meijer and talk to someone who's reading the same book as you that you didn't even know, because they are walking along our trail, part of the Story Walk.
That is a brilliant solution. It helps to create a sense of fellowship and camaraderie, and you build up an opportunity for conversation through shared experience. And I love the literacy aspect, and it feels like a little bit of a treasure hunt each stop of the way, right? And that literature, the story is that treasure, right? And the gardens themselves are magnificent. So what a great time to spend as a family, to get out and do something together. Let me segue real quick to something that we didn't get to talk about on the previous edition of Marion Matters, but it is your scholarship program. That is something that the city got to partner with Ivy Tech, and we ran out of time last time.
And that's what I'm really excited about that, because I said when I was campaigning, I wanted to try to turn Marion into the trades capital of Indiana.
Yes.
And in order to do that, you have to invest and believe in, this in people that they're going to pursue after the trade. So I sat down with Chancellor Husky at Ivy Tech, and we came up with this idea to where people who graduated from Marion High School, students who graduated from Marion High School, could go study at Ivy Tech a trade for free. And there's some stipulations that, they have to abide by within the scholarship. But if they go to Ivy Tech and study a trade and want to work in Marion, they can learn that trade for free. And I just learned for free. I just learned today that the scope is being expanded a little bit. We're actually opening it up to current graduates from high school, Marion High School, and also current residents.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's going to, obviously there's a limit. It's not unlimited funds, but we're going to provide people a pathway to be successful in the trades and also work in the city of Marion. Because one of the things that I've learned from our local manufacturers and people who are in the trade industry and hiring people, that the pipeline is very thin. So we want to make sure that we are doing everything we can to fill that pipeline and help our employers out. And quite frankly, our citizens can make a lot of money going into this industry.
It's a great career path. It can be very lucrative.
So everybody could win, right? So I want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to put people down a successful path to be successful here in Marion, Indiana.
Wow. So that's very exciting, and I cannot wait to see where that goes. I know that's going to be some really great stories to come out of that. Let's talk a little bit. You mentioned fitness was something that was on your radar as well. So let's talk about pickleball courts. How popular is pickleball in Marion?
I was so caught off guard by this. And I try to stay up on everything. I'm trying to be, every part of the city, everything going on everywhere. I try to be up on it. I was so caught off guard by pickleball and how popular it was. So as you can imagine, I receive a lot of emails, calls, text messages, direct messages on social media, comment, all kind of things about what I should do, what the city needs, etc. And one group that was very consistent was the pickleball. I call them the pickleball mafia, if you will. They were very consistent. We need more pickleball courts. So one day I said, okay, I'm going to go out to our current pickleball courts at Model Park and just watch for a little while. And I was so surprised they were packed all day. And night. And check this out. I even saw people when it rained, they would wait for the rain to stop and squeegee the court off and go right back to playing.
That's dedication.
So I said, this is serious, right? And then I started looking more statewide and nationally, and people, there are leagues, there are tournaments that travel around. So I said, okay, this is a real industry and a real quality of life investment for the city of Marion. So what we're planning to do is we have, I believe it's, I think 6 courts now. We're going to add another 6 to give us 12 courts out at Model Park to be able to host tournaments and also be able to accommodate the quality of life and everyday of citizens that play there.
Hosting tournaments now, that's something I can see picking up feet quick.
If we're going to do it, we're what's the saying? We're a small town that does big things.
That's right.
So we might as well do it.
Well, so pickleball in 2025 coming soon, right?
Yes.
I love it. So there's also some new playground equipment coming to the Parks Department as well. That's through a game time matching grant that the city received.
So I want to give kudos to our team, Rose Cadena and Jeff Reyes. So Rose oversees she's supervisor for our parks, and Jeff Reyes is our grant writer. So they wrote this grant to the company, and they matched us. So it's $150,000 worth of new equipment. The city had to come up with half, and they matched us on that. So we're able to get, this equipment is 30 years old. Yes. And it's starting to wear, things don't last forever. So what we're coming in and do is put state-of-the-art equipment that will hopefully last another 20 to 30 years. And I believe the park is 0 to 5 is what it's labeled as. So all of our sections in Model Park are like different age qualities, right? So
that's important.
0 to 5 is one area, and then like Friendship Corner, I think, is for older kids, and then we have another park that's for a different age of kids. So now our 0 to 5-year-old park is going to get a major investment and a major upgrade. So it's a quality of life investment, able to attract and retain young families, and also older families who have grandkids and want to take them out there into that space as well. So it's a big quality of life investment that I believe will be able to touch the whole entire city.
Yeah, I can just imagine a day at Modern Park in a warm, sunny season, right? Where moms and dads or grandparents take the kids out, and you've got the story time, right? You've got the little treasure hunt there, and then you have all the different age level playground equipment in a beautiful setting. I think your vision is starting to come together here.
And I'm so encouraged by it is, this is the vision of the city. So Modern Park has been there. I don't want to misquote the date, but it's been there for a long time. So what I'm able to do is build off of 40, 50, 60, 70 years of things and modernize it. I told someone the other day, we don't always have to reinvent the wheel, but sometimes we just need to pause it and just push it a little bit faster. So that's what I'm doing right now, is taking the assets that we have in the city of Marion and seeing how we can improve them and increase them to match modern society.
You are doing that very well. And the Riverfront District, we need to talk about that for a minute here. So speaking of your vision, that is something that people now can actually see for themselves thanks to a project with Halstead Architects here in Marion. Talk to us a little bit about this. We've got the dog park, green space, and so many other things.
So in my head, I always have these ideas, and I jot them down. I have a notepad, I jot things down, and it's very cool to be able to see them visualize.
That's a pro tip right there. Write it down.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I might forget. But we have people like Halstead Architects can take the things in my head and then turn them into a reality so people can see. So on Ballard Field, those who might remember that, I believe it used to be called Johnstown. Maybe it used to be homes down there. In the early 2000s was vacated, and now we've had some soccer fields down there. And now what we're going to do is again take what we've already done and see how we can improve it. So now we're going to turn those 3 soccer fields into 6 ideally turf soccer fields. Ooh. And then on the other side, we're going to turn that into 5 turf baseball fields. So a combination of baseball, softball, and little league, and all different size variations to cover the gamut. And then across the other side of the road, where the go-kart track used to be, and that's the area we'll turn into a football field. So a full-length football field, bleachers, parking lot, everything. And then on the other side, back to the other side, we'll have to add the dog park in there, which is a continuation from the previous administration's vision. And we'll add a natural playground. And then one thing that's important is this a continuation of what's been going on in the city forever. So our walkway currently stops at about, I think it's the Branson Street Bridge, or it might be the Washington Street Bridge, where our walkway stops right now. What we're going to do is expand that walkway from there all the way in through this new development of the park. So now, what is now 2.5 miles of walkway is probably going to be 3 to 3.25 worth of walkway, where you can start there and walk the whole entire thing, walk through that development on Ballard Field, walk past the new development that we're doing in the Dora district, and with the new apartment building and restaurants going in there, walk past the splash pad that's being developed along that walk, all the way in the Model Park to the other things we just covered so far.
So you are really expanding recreation, quality of life, and you are taking into consideration all different ages and interests. It sounds like there's something for everyone. Yeah. And we have spoken in the past about some apartments that are going to be developed in that area. And then now I understand there's also consideration for some cottage homes as well.
Yeah, so now when you're pulling into Marion, so I'm really focused on this entryway. So once you get into Marion, you have the old Tucker building.
So this is when you're coming in off of the interstate, I-69, and you're coming into Marion, and you're looking at past the Dollar General and all of that.
We made it past that.
Okay.
And then now we're actually going into the heart of the city.
Yes.
So you have the old Tucker building, then you have Jones. So the Jones is purchased by a private developer. It's now it'll be called the Jones Heritage Project. So the main building of Jones is being gutted actively right now to be made for market rate to luxury loft style apartments. So where it's kind of similar to what you see in New York, where all the ceilings are like 15 to 20 feet.
Ooh.
And so that'll be on the interior of the Jones building. Now, behind that, when those remember where like the track field and the baseball field, the football field used to be, that area is going to be turned into a neighborhood of cottage homes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we had the reason why we're investing so heavily in incentivizing housing is we had a housing study done early on this year, and it showed that the city of Marion was short about 2,000 units at a combination between houses, both purchasable and rental, apartments from affordable to luxury were short at a combination of all those things. So we want to continue to try to invest in housing to make Marion a place where people want to live, but also a place where they actually can live. So like right now, if an influx of 1,000 people wanted to move into Marion, there's nowhere for them to go. So now,
well, then that creates a problem if you're trying to grow your economy.
100%. Right. So what we're doing right now is investing in quality of life to be able to attract people to want to be here, and also housing to have somewhere to put them when they get here.
That is a grand plan, and I cannot wait to see that become completely realized in reality. How exciting. And you think about the sense of pride that people will feel also once that is completed, but right now, when you think about the first impressions, when people are coming into our community from the interstate and the first things that they see,
right,
when they start seeing this beautiful green space and all of this recreation and these beautiful cottage homes and the apartment, the luxury apartment, not just, luxury here, right? Because Marion deserves nice things, right?
Definitely,
and so this is a great example of that. So talk about first impression improvement.
Yep, and that's what we want to do. We want to make sure when people come into Marion that they are seeing our motto, that Marion deserves nice things, and also we're a small town that does big things.
That's right. That's right. And as we move into that downtown area, now don't give us the answer yet because we've got to pause for a really quick break. But I understand there's been some talk about possibly changing some one-way streets into two-way streets.
How fun. Okay.
All right. Well, we're going to pause real quick. Folks, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with some more Marion Matters with Mayor Morrell.
Get ready, Marion. WSOT TV proudly presents Marion Matters featuring Marion Mayor Ronald Morrell Jr. Join us as Mayor Morrell teams up with WSOT TV's own Angela Stepp to bring you exclusive updates straight from Marion. Tune in monthly for a deep dive into Marion's hottest topics, from groundbreaking projects to must-see events. Catch Marion Matters on WSOT TV, broadcast channel 27-1, Spectrum Cable Channel 3, and streaming on YouTube at WSOT-TV.
Welcome back to Marion Matters with Mayor Morrell. We were just about to talk about a big potential change to the downtown area of Marion, and that has to do with streets. Mayor, Washington and Adams, you recently put a question out for public comment. Should we change Washington Street and Adams Street to a two-way?
Yeah, so that was a hot, but I often I'm a very open and transparent and communicative leader. So I kind of put things out to see, what the response is going to be and, what will this benefit the community. So there's been, from a history perspective, those streets used to be two-way. Yes. And then I can't remember at what point in time in history they switched them to one-way streets, and I can't remember why. And there's been, for the last probably 20 years or so, there's been conversations about switching them back to two-way and how that would benefit the city. So there's, I guess I would like to say, I'm not shooting from the hip on this. There's plenty of studies that show the benefits and the pros and the cons of doing both ways. One thing that I will say is that what we're considering at the moment is not a full length. So right now, Washington and Adams are only one way from 2nd Street to 26th Street, and the rest of them are, two-way. Mm-hmm. So if and when we officially propose this, it will only be an adjustment from the downtown district specifically. So from 2nd Street to about 6th Street, that would switch. If we go forward with it and propose it, that would be the area that we switch to the two-way. The remainder of Washington and Adams will still flow in their one-way direction. And the reason why is we're trying to slow down traffic downtown and make people spend time and also hopefully spend money in our new downtown area and districts where people are investing their money. So we're trying to create a space where, it's high density and people are walking. And if we can, and obviously slower traffic benefits people who when people are out walking in a high density area. So that's the reason and the vision behind it. If and when we officially propose it, we'll make sure we put the study out and also all the reasons why and how we will go about such things.
It is very important, I think, for folks to step back for a second and realize that what we were just talking about before the break, the downtown portion of our city is really the very first impression of our entire community. Mm-hmm. And if you have a thriving, vital downtown, then it just kind of sets the tone for everywhere else in your city.
Yeah.
And so if you can rebuild that downtown area, then you essentially have given new life to all of Marion and Grant County, because Marion is the county seat.
Yeah, so that's what we're, and I got some advice early on that says that, as a mayor, no matter what side of the city you are, there's so many things to do and so many things you want to get done that you often will spread yourself so thin that there feels like there's no impact. And the advice I got was to focus on 2 to 3 blocks at a time and make it a tremendous impact. And that's what we've done, try to focus on this downtown riverfront area district.
It sounds like some wise advice.
Yes,
yeah. Well, you have definitely focused on Clean City Marion, and part of that has been blight elimination. Mm-hmm. We're at the tail end of that year number 1.
Yeah.
A lot of blight has been dealt with. Are you pleased with the progress?
I am through. I'll wait for my team to put out the official report, but I've been given confirmation this is the most buildings and homes we've ever tore down in 1 year in the city's recent history. So they're saying the last 35, 40 years. So we've been very aggressive and we're going to continue to go. One thing I found out, I didn't know, you can actually keep tearing down homes in the wintertime. So it's never going to stop. Right? We're going to keep rolling and rolling.
No, snow isn't going to stop you at all.
Not stopping. So our team, our building commissioner, False Knight, is leading that charge and working very hard, and they're doing an amazing job. Our board of works is. One thing that I'm so excited about this is all the departments, all of the elected positions, the city council, and the citizens are able to buy in and unify behind this vision. So, again, it's my vision, but it would mean nothing if everyone didn't join in. So because of this unity, I think that's why we're seeing such a massive and quick impact. So I want to give kudos to everyone from my city council to the board of works to all of our department heads who are in this. Everybody's aligned. We're marching forward. The marching order is Clean City Marion 2.0 and blight elimination, and we've tackled that head on.
You really have tackled that, and it is an amazing, outstanding effort that you and your team have put forward. So let's talk a little bit about the Traveling Town Hall initiative, because that is something that was a brand new idea. In our community, you have traveled to key different, like all quadrants, if you will, of the city, and you have had a chance to meet with people one-on-one, and you've now had a handful of them since we last spoke. What is your takeaway? Has the attendance been pretty good?
Yeah, people. We've had some where it was 50 people. We had some where it was 100 people. So all of that is great attendance, and that's one of the most fun times for me to be mayor as though, because I really enjoy people and I love talking to people. And sometimes you get sitting in the office, you get isolated and all that. But when you get out in front of people and you get to see their faces and communicate and share what's going on, hear their concerns and address their concerns. One thing that I learned from this is that people love to see who's working for them. Yes. So not only do I go to these traveling town halls, but all of my immediate staff, so like all my department heads are there as well. So any question that somebody wants to know can be answered immediately. We don't have to bounce things around. Like the person that you need to know something from is right there in front of your face. So I think people really appreciate that.
What are your top 3 takeaways from this?
Top 3 takeaways. 1, people love to see who's running the city. 2, we are going to continue to do a better job of informing all of our citizens of the process of how things work. I'm hoping to launch an initiative next year called How Marion Works, so people can understand the process to go through to get a house torn down and the blight eliminated, the process of how streets are paved. All these things that people know happen and know need to happen, but they don't necessarily know all of the minute details, right? So that'd be the second thing, is making sure we're investing more time and effort in knowing letting our citizens know how the city works. And then lastly, I would say that, Marion has amazing people that live here. And once I'm on social media a lot, but once you get off social media, people want to see who's working for them. We want to do as much as we can and a better job at informing our citizens. And lastly, I just genuinely love our people, and the more we get in front of them, I think the better things will be in our city.
I think you are so right on that. Did you notice any trends in public feedback when you were talking with people that arose out of this effort?
Any trend? I would say that everyone, it's funny because all my department heads come, but the most common questions are always for two specific individuals. Mike Graff, who's our city engineer, who oversees street paving, so that's a popular one,
Yes.
right? And then our building commissioner, Jerry Falsnight, who oversees building demolitions and code enforcement, right? So every single meeting, no matter where we're at in the city, they got questions every time. So.
Every time. All right, so there's some issues we need to put on the plate for 2025.
And those are the things that touch people the most. People care about their streets being paved, their snow being plowed, the house being next to them that's torn down, cleaned up, whatever. So our department heads are doing a great job and did a great job answering those questions. And really what it boiled down to is this in the past, I think we haven't always communicated clearly how things work. And now we're investing more our time, talent, and treasure into making sure that our processes and our systems are widely known. So that kind of alleviates some of the questions.
So do you think you'll continue the town halls in 2025?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to do this as long as I'm there.
Oh,
yeah.
Great. So people are always going to have a chance to give that feedback.
We'll always be there. Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited. Well, I look forward to hearing what happens next year. Because I have a feeling your attendance is going to drastically improve.
Yes,
greatly,
that's
drastically.
hope,
Do you like me making up my own word there?
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I'm going to add that to my vocabulary too. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about end of the year highlights because wow, you have been so busy and your administration has accomplished so much.
Yeah.
I would love to hear, are there some favorite things that you would like to highlight that happened this year?
Wow, that is tough. My most favorite is something that I do. So I go into all of our elementary schools in our city I rotate. So I'm in a different school every single week. And I read to the kids, and I was recently able to purchase books for the first graders to give to them so that they can have their own book, from the mayor.
Yes.
That would be my personal highlight, because when you go into the school and get in front of that next generation, there's so much hope in their eyes. There's so much excitement. There's so much, future in our city that I really try to do as much as I can to invest in them. And even if I'm ever having a hard day with what's going on in the city or whatever, getting in front of that next generation makes you forget completely about that. So I would say if I was to try to pick one thing, that would be my highlight of my first year in office.
That's a good highlight. I'm on record for years saying our kids are our future.
Yes.
Right. And so investing in them and helping to encourage that curiosity and that learning and just planting those seeds of greatness. Mm-hmm. That's a good highlight.
Yeah.
So as you wrap up this first year as mayor, it's an experience, I'm sure.
Yes.
Is there one thing that I'm sure there's a lot, but is there one thing that you could zero in on that you're going to take away from this experience and it's going to stick long term?
Oh, wow.
Tough questions.
Yeah, stick long term. I would say that people are the key to anything you want to do in life. Whether you're in business, whether you're in ministry, whether you're in government, you have to have people skills. And so I think that's something that can be translated to no matter what industry you're in, no matter what you do. People skills are such an important investment, and you need people. You can't do this life alone. Yeah. That's what I would say.
So true. True. All right. Well, we're about out of time. And so I have to get one more question, right? Yeah. And it has to do with Christmas. Mm-hmm. Do you have one Christmas wish for the city of Marion that you'd like to share?
Oh, Christmas wish for the whole city?
And it could be for the 2025 year if you want.
For the 2025 year, okay. My Christmas wish for the city is that everyone will find hope, joy, peace, and excitement and new energy about living in Marion.
think that's a really good wish. All right. Well, Mayor Morrell, thank you for joining
Thanks for
us.
having me.
And a big Merry Christmas to
Merry
you
Christmas
and
to
your
you as well.
family. And I can't wait to see how 2025 plays out. It's going to be an exciting year. It'll be the first year under a budget that you got to bring in.
Yes, my first one.
So
Yes.
you've been working on the previous administration's budget. So look out, 2025.
Yeah,
Here we come. It's going to be a great year.
Yes.
All right. Well, don't go to. We'll be right back with a little bit more Marion Matters with Mayor Morrell.
Get ready, Marion. WSOT TV proudly presents Marion Matters featuring Marion Mayor Ronald Morrell Jr. Join us as Mayor Morrell teams up with WSOT TV's own Angela Stepp to bring you exclusive updates straight from Marion. Tune in monthly for a deep dive into Marion's hottest topics, from groundbreaking projects to must-see events. Catch Marion Matters on WSOT TV, Broadcast Channel 27-1, Spectrum Cable Channel 3, and streaming on YouTube at WSOT-TV.
Well, we want to say a great big thank you to Basic Systems USA for their gracious donation that helped to make production of today's program possible. They are located here proudly in Marion, Indiana, and they are just a huge blessing to the television ministry here at Sunnycrest Baptist Church. And so a big thank you again for helping to make today's program and other programming possible. That's all the time that we have. We want to wish you a beautiful Thanksgiving, a Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. Stay tuned for some more quality family programming that you can trust right here on Sunnycrest Outreach Television. God bless.